Afternoon, everybody. My name is Darrin, and I represent the Taiwan Tourism Bureau in the UK, along with Sylvia Lee and Anna Guam, who's also amongst yourselves in the audience. So if you have any questions at all, please pop them into the chat, and either Sylvia and Anna will try and answer them straight away. Otherwise, we can have a little bit of a Q&A towards the end of the session. For those of you who are in London, it is nice and sunny, so I won't try and keep you too long. And for those of you who are everywhere else in the country, I hope the sunshine is gracing your presence as well. Right, so let's begin. I appreciate that we have been doing quite a few presentations over the last few weeks, and I see that there's some familiar faces in the audience. So this is an opportunity for you to remind yourself about Taiwan. So first and foremost, do make sure your full name is in the chat, purely because we do have a question towards the end, and the question will require somebody to put an answer in the chat box, and the person who answers first will win the prize, but we can only give a prize to someone whose name is available in the chat. So please do make sure you change your name from iPhone to your actual name. Great. Right, so welcome to Taiwan. Before we get into everything, I just want to give you a tiny bit of an update about the COVID situation. From the beginning, Taiwan has been one of the destinations in Asia that's managed to get a really strong handle on the control of the pandemic. Throughout the entire nation, there's only been 450 odd cases. In comparison to the other destinations within the region, that's a really good result. At the moment, the international airports do remain closed until further notice, until it is absolutely safe for them to reopen. There are a few caveats in terms of those who have business interests within the destination or have to go and meet with suppliers or factories, etc. There are exemptions for them, but there is a process that they need to go through in terms of quarantining, etc. Going forward, we hope that, you know, as the world changes and rules and regulations change to accommodate a bit more fluid tourism industry, we hope that you will all have a chance to visit the destination. There will be opportunities in the future for farm trips, etc. So please do keep in touch with us. So welcome to Taiwan. Taiwan, as an island, was formerly called Ile Formosa back in the 1500s. I remember this as clear as day. There was a Portuguese sailing ship going past, and they saw this green, lush, beautiful island in the middle of the ocean, and they called it Ile Formosa, which means beautiful island. And Taiwan is indeed very beautiful. So Formosa is Portuguese for beautiful, just in case you want to impress anybody with your Portuguese, or that's one to remember. So let's dig in. So as an island, it is very niche and underrated. It's still not experienced any mass tourism from the West. So there's some bragging rights for those of you who want to visit somewhere that's culturally different and just very, very cool. For those of you who enjoy food, it is a major foodie destination. There's Michelin-starred restaurants, there's night markets serving food that can cater for vegetarians, there's meat lovers, there's vegans, there's something there for everybody, and it's absolutely cheap. There's great hospitality. Taiwan's got rich, deep cultural heritage. It's incredibly diverse, and as we go through the presentation, you'll come to see why. Right, so we're looking at about 8 hours ahead of us, GMT. The flight time from the UK is between 12 and 17 hours, depending on the route taken and the airline you fly with. Some flights go via Thailand. There's one that goes direct, and I'll talk to you about that in a sec. In terms of seasonality, spring and autumn are the most likely times to travel, but it is indeed an all year round destination because it is tropical to the south and subtropical to the north. So there's something to see every month of the year should you visit whenever. English is widely spoken, and there's no visa requirements for British travelers who intend to be in the destination for 90 days or less. It's a great destination for those who are going in transit. As a matter of fact, Taiwan is quite popular for those who are traveling down to New Zealand and Australia as a stopover point. So if you have any stopover passengers, there's the ability for a free half-day tour of Taipei, the capital city of Taiwan. You know, they can get maps and brochures to go and explore themselves. There's also access to Easy Cards, which is the equivalent of an Oyster card. That can be topped up with money, and you can also use it in shops as well. So you can use that as a payment card. But it works on all forms of transport, the trams, buses, trains, etc. And there's tons of Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the entire capital. So there's opportunities to share your experiences with those on your favorite social media channels. Talking about airlines, so we've got a couple national carriers. Eva Air flies via Bangkok, and China Airlines flies direct from the UK. But there's opportunities to get there through Cathay. There's KLM, Singapore, Emirates, and Turkish Airlines as well. So there's plenty. Once you're in the destination, it's really easy to get around. There's a high-speed rail that connects the north to the south of the island. And you can do that in under 2 hours. I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes. So it's really, really easy to get around and do and see loads in a very short space of time as well. You can buy tickets online, and there's different packages you can buy depending on how you want to use the high-speed rail. But it connects all the major cities along the west coast from the north of the island down to the south. Biking is very popular on the island. There's lots of cycle routes and lots of opportunities to go to various sites and do excursions on 2 wheels. As a matter of fact, 2021 is the year of cycling for Taiwan. So it's an opportunity to be outdoors and explore the island in all its glory on 2 wheels. There's great metro systems. There's a fantastic bus network. The highways that lead up and down the country are in excellent condition, which means it's great for yourself to hire a car and just put your sat nav on, buy a local SIM card, and do your own independent thing. All the road signs are also English marked as well, so really easy to navigate. Right, so we're going to go through a bit more about the destination in terms of its diversity. You've got 5 mountain ranges that make up the center of the island. And you've got mountain tops at 3,000 meters plus, all the way down to fantastic beaches in the south, a bit more at ground level. I'm just going to go back to this map quickly just to show you the topography of the island. So you can see towards the center, there is these mountain ranges, and I'm going to try and just annotate. So you've got these mountain ranges that span the north to the south. And I mean, there's photographs of these mountain ranges, and a lot of people sometimes think that it looks like Scotland. It's just that beautiful, but you'll see why in a sec. Let's go forward. Right, so this is a video, because actually 2020 was called the year of the mountains for Taiwan. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to really capitalize on that because the borders have remained closed. But instead, I'll quickly play this video so you can see the topography of the island in all its glory.
Taiwan, the heart of Asia.
Great. I hope you're all able to witness that and hear the sound. Some powerful music. Right, so we've just left the mountains and we're heading down to the south of the island, to some of its lowest points, where you'll find some amazing coastlines and beaches. Um, Turquoise waters, white sands, great for snorkeling, scuba diving, just other marine activities. There's resorts and boutique properties you can stay at. So a lot of people don't associate Taiwan as a beach destination, but there you go, it can be. Food, my favorite bit. There's tons and tons of eating opportunities for those who travel based on food. I know whenever I am traveling, my itinerary is primarily based on breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So where can I eat and how much it costs. There's something for everybody, from bao buns to noodles to stinky tofu if you're brave. But it's not just about the local and indigenous foods. There's cuisine for everybody. Taiwan is an international destination, so there's lots of international different nationalities living in the destination. So you can have Chinese, you can have Italian, Spanish. There's food for everybody. But in terms of local cuisine, it is absolutely delightful and it's very cheap as well. You can go to a high-end restaurant like Din Tai Fung, who have restaurants in London as well, and you can eat out a proper sort of like slap-up meal for about £15, including drink and service. So it is relatively cheap to eat out, and even cheaper when you go to some of the night markets. You can go there for food, but it's also an opportunity for you to observe and immerse yourself in some of the local culture and see how life goes by in these night markets. So yeah, definitely worthwhile exploring, purely just based on food if it's anything else. In terms of drinks, you can get a beer from £3.50 in a high-end restaurant down to £1.50 in a local bar. So definitely an opportunity to sample some of the local beers. Covering people, friendly and hospitable. I mean, there isn't anywhere else that I think I've experienced this level of hospitality. I know everywhere competes for warm and friendly people, but to each their own, and in Taiwan, they are truly so. Interestingly, they've got a very strong Aboriginal culture as well. There's over 16 different tribes of Aboriginal peoples, and they're primarily populated along the east coast of the island. But again, as part of your immersive experience when in the destination, it's worthwhile to go and go to some of these areas and experience some of the culture, the arts, the artifacts, and just to see how they've preserved their way of being. Throughout the course of the year, there's lots of different festivals, but one of the more notable ones is the Lantern Festival, which happens annually, and the dates shift, but it's usually around February, March. In 2021, the dates confirmed so far is the 26th of February to the 7th of March, and is in a city called Hsinchu, which is also translates to being the Windy City. But it's an opportunity to go see the lanterns. Some of them are done in extravagant shapes. There's lots of lights, different colors. There's music, there's food, there's lots of different cultural festivities happening around this time. So it gives you an opportunity to have a full-blown immersive experience of the destination. Moving forward, Taiwan is known for its quirkiness. So you can go to a restaurant and, some people might be taken aback by this, but you can go to a restaurant and the seats are made out of toilet bowls, and the bowls you eat your meal in is also fashioned in the shape of a toilet bowl. I'm not entirely sure what the meaning is behind it, but it's a different way of consuming food. You can go to cafes where you can get a picture of your pet printed on your coffee, and you can often see, buggies with puppies and fans walking up and down the street. So there's always something that you see that make you go, oh, that's different, which adds to the whole experience of what a holiday should be about. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to talk through this is basically the Golden Triangle. And for the first-time visitor, it's pretty much what you would experience over the course of, let's say, a week. Obviously, you know, for longer duration, there's many other places to go and explore. But we do encourage slow travel in Taiwan. It's an opportunity to really sort of like become part of the environment and to really immerse yourself in the culture and the whole experience. So the Golden Triangle will touch upon places like Taipei, which is the capital city up in the north, Taichung, the Sun Moon Lake, which is a must, and the Taroko National Park. So let's talk about Taipei a bit. A lot of people see Taipei as a business city, but over the last 20 years, it's gone through a fairly drastic transformation, and it's now very exciting, dynamic, and it's a whole merging of old versus new. You've got modern buildings, modern shopping malls, high-end facilities, but at the same time, there's opportunities to go and explore some of the night markets, and there's museums and temples which actually tell the story of old and the origins of the destination. Many of the temples throughout the country date back to like the 1700s, so it's definitely worthwhile going for a walk back in time and to get an understanding of the destination's history. There's the National Palace Museum, which is a must. It's like going to Paris and not seeing the Eiffel Tower. You have to go to the National Palace Museum. It holds more arts and artifacts that tell a story of historical China in this museum than there is in mainland China. So there's an opportunity to see jade sculptures, calligraphy, Buddhist artifacts, lots of Chinese art. So this has to be on your itinerary for yourself and for your clients when you look to visit. I mentioned earlier the night markets. For me, I think this is where you get to see the real pulse of the destination. You know, I think the people is the core of any tourism product, and they're in their droves at the various night markets throughout the island. It's an opportunity to sample some of their food, have some bubble tea. You can walk past some of the booths and they're playing some music. And it's just a really nice way to see what how intricate society is. And by going to these night markets is the best place to experience it. As we head down towards the center of the island, we come towards the Sun Moon Lake. It is the largest body of fresh water in Taiwan. It's got a surrounding of amazing landscapes from mountains and forested areas. It's got great weather all year round, and it's great for sort of like boating. There's hiking around the lake you can do, and there's also cycling. There's a cycle track of about 29 kilometers that goes around the lake. So it is actually an amazing day out. The lake, Sun Moon Lake, was actually voted one of the 10 most beautiful bikeways in the world back in 2012. So it's definitely a must see. As we go through, right, and we head over to the east of the island, and this is the Taroko Gorge. It's often referred to as the jewel in Taiwan's crown, and it really sort of illuminates Taiwan as its originally given name, Formosa, which again means beautiful in Portuguese. The national park is around 120,000 hectares in size and has 27 mountain peaks over 3,000 meters tall. And it pretty much single-handedly provides a sanctuary for over half of the island's plant and animal life. So again, just being in this environment, it is really soul-shaking with its stunning beauty. This is the actual Taroko Gorge. It's about 18 kilometers in length, and it's a marble walled canyon. And the riverway you see there is called the Liwu River. It runs all the way through it, and it's just great for walks. There's hikes. There's also cycling as well that you can do in the area. This is the Tino Spring Shrine, which is in the Taroko Gorge, and it was actually a dedication to, unfortunately, a lot of workers who were building the highway pass, because the Taroko Gorge is a very mountainous area. So this shrine was built to commemorate their efforts and the life that they dedicated towards making sure that the highway was completed. But again, the shrine is absolutely beautiful and definitely worth visiting. We're heading back towards the west coast. This is Tainan. It is the former capital of Taiwan before Taipei gained the crown. It's a popular place to visit. There's lots of temples, there's night markets. Yeah, it's just one of those stops that you can jump off on the way, especially if you were to take the high-speed rail. Definitely a town to go and see. And then we head down to Kaohsiung. It was listed as one of the top 5 cities in the world by Lonely Planet back in 2018. It hosts one of the largest, I guess, art centers, multicultural music complexes in the island. It's over 100,000 square meters in size. So there's lots of events happening there throughout the year, which makes Kaohsiung a very vibrant city. You can see that there's sort of like almost like a dragon boat race happening. There's tons of different things you can go and experience. There's a light rail system that connects lots of the monuments in the city together, so you can do tours. There's lots of recreation areas for hikers. So there's tons of things to go and see and experience in this city. And then there's the Alishan National Park. It's a great forested area up in the mountains. There's an old school rail network that goes through. So again, it's a great way to go and experience some of the wildlife and nature. And it's absolutely stunning for sunrises and sunsets as well. And then down to the south coast, we have the Kenting National Park, where you can have good all-round weather throughout the year, and it's great for surfing and scuba diving, amazing coastlines. As a matter of fact, it is the holiday destination for the Taiwanese, and every summer they'll head down there and visit the beaches. So you're looking at an average temperature in January, for example, of between 21 and 23 degrees. So definitely a great add-on spot should there be time. Right, so that's it for a nutshell for Taiwan. I hope some of you managed to change your names in the chat. It is an opportunity for us to, I guess, select you for a prize. We do have a question to ask to win a goodie bag, which includes the infamous Obear cuddly toy. He's heavily sought after. I myself am still trying to get one. But we do have some in stock, and we'd love to give away one today. So I've got a question to ask. So get ready. Make sure you've stretched your fingers because you're going to have to type the answer in the chat box, and the person who answers first in the chat box will win the prize. So are you ready? The question is, what is the original name given by the Portuguese for the island of Taiwan? Wow, okay, the chat box is running. I'm gonna have to ask Sharon to help me pick who put it in first.
Yeah.
Everybody can see themselves.
Let me scroll to the top.
But before you do, I'm going to give the answer. And I think everybody was paying attention because everybody seems to have gotten it correct. And the answer is Formosa. Right. So who have we got first in the chat box?
I have Daniela Murphy-Page.
Oh, congratulations, Daniela. Well done. We will get your contact details and we will communicate and figure out the best way to give Obear to you, to his new home. I hope you take care of him. He's great fun. If you speak to him, he can speak back to you. But then I'd also be worried about your mental health. Yeah, he's a great companion and very great for cuddling as well. So, right, so this wraps up everything. I just want to sort of like give you 5 key points to walk away with. The destination is niche and underrated. If you visit, you're definitely a very cool person. It's a major foodie destination and it's cheap to eat out. It's got rich cultural heritage with all the museums and going to all the temples. Its diversity in its beauty in terms of its landscape it's heavily underrated, and it's very easy for UK travelers. No visa, you can get by with English, you can hire a car, you can get a SIM card, put in your smartphone, and you can just go and explore the destination. So for more information, please do check out the destination tourism website. It is www.taiwan.net.tw. And we do have a Facebook page. It is Tour Taiwan. And our Instagram page is Tour Taiwan TTB. And finally, for any further information, and if you want to make yourself a Taiwan pro, do look out for Taiwan Tourism Training Course on OTT. It's got lots of resources and information on there. And China Airlines also has an online course with OTT as well. So you can do both. And very soon we'll be announcing a few collaboration opportunities via OTT as well. So do get involved. And thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciated. I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. So if there are any questions that anybody has. Oh, and there's Anna with her Obeah. Wait a minute. Thank you, Anna. So I've got Anna and I've also got Sylvia in this session as well. I think they may have been answering some of the questions in the chat. But if there are any further additional questions, I'm more than happy to answer them now. If there are no questions, it means that I've hopefully done a good job. And yeah, and we're here to help. So do get involved. I will get all of your contact details from the team at Potter, and I'll drop an email around so that you have access to online brochures and maps and everything that you need. And we look forward to keeping in touch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Darrin. Everybody
Thank you.
has loved it. So hope to see you guys at our last session tomorrow afternoon. See you later, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.